This is 2 in a row where we got stuff set up, like no audio problems or anything. Okay, Kyle. Want to hear a knock knock joke? We're gonna start off with
Of
knock.
course
knock
I do.
Okay, all right.
Yes, please.
Start it. Go.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
I hate you.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Kyle Jackson. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We'll do a little intros in a little bit, but yeah, just I'm digging your lights. I've yet to comment on the purple lights. It's throwing some huge Prince vibes, and I'm digging it.
Everybody loves Prince, bro.
Everyone loves Prince. You were showing off some of your little vocals. I want to see if you can. I want to hear the best. What's the best vocal you have right there of your little audio toys? Best one. Give me the best. Give me the hottest.
I like to sing a lot.
That's
Sounds good.
Were you in Owl City? Were you
Yes.
Nice. That's really good. Okay. Now, what would be the weirdest thing, the weirdest phrase someone would say with that voice?
Do you want salsa?
Yes, that's a good one. Do you want? I'll take it. I'll take that all day long.
That's all I got.
That's all you're gonna do. I love the long pause. I was right about to say, we need to fill some airspace here, but
This episode of 38 at 38 is brought to you by CyberDrain's Capture the Flag, a CTF oriented at system administrators and engineers instead of cybersecurity experts. This event is designed to test the skills of everyone in the MSP space so that they can show off what they can do. Beginning February 14th, 2023 with no cost to enter, anyone anywhere in the world is welcome to join, up to 1,000 players. And to get an idea of the amazing prizes up for grabs, take a look at last year's awards, including a streamer starter pack, a PS5, a Nintendo Switch, and thousands of dollars in Amazon gift cards, plus more. Be sure to visit ctf.cyberdrain.com to register today.
Oh, that's so great. What a perfect time to roll on in.
Here's the worst part.
Is
I've been messing with this thing all day, just making myself crack up.
Yeah.
And I deleted the videos, but I was singing my way through all kinds of stupid stuff, just testing out the microphones. So the first thing that came to mind was all the dumb, inappropriate things I was singing when you asked me to do that.
Of course. You're like, nope, can't, nope. So it's Christmas time now, right? But by the time people are watching this, it's not going to be Christmas time, but that's okay. I've been asking a couple people this question. Like, I've never thought of it, not being raised with Christmas. Like, I finally realized I have a favorite Christmas song. Like, I just realized this a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wow. So do you have a favorite Christmas song?
Feliz Navidad.
Is it really? Shut your mouth.
No. I'm a Nat King Cole guy, man.
Yeah.
I like that style.
Nice. Mine is White Christmas. Dreaming of a White Christmas. Yeah, but the version of Drifters, where it's like, hi, yeah. That's my favorite. I think it's so great. They were flipping it upside down back then. No one was expecting that. That was a hot track.
See, I like the other side of that. You like the high voices.
Mm-hmm.
I like the low Mike Rowe voices.
Right.
That deep voice.
Oh man, Mike Rowe does have a deep voice.
That Josh Turner kind of voice,
Right. So, I think this is a good time. Just go ahead and start off the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is 38 at 38. My name is Aaron Bolton, and I am wonderfully joined tonight, or this evening. No, morning. You know what's funny? They don't know what time it is. We're in Alaska for all they know. We are joined with Kyle Jackson, one of my very, very best friends. Love him so much. Kyle, go ahead and talk about yourself. Everyone quiet. Listen to Kyle.
So my name is Kyle Jackson, as Aaron just said. I'm one of his friends, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that.
No, one of my very best friends. One of my very best friends.
I've learned to be okay with that.
Don't take the very best off.
Well, sometimes I get very best. Sometimes I just get, this is somebody I know, so I can't really tell where I am in any given point in time. I want to open up with the fact that my first job, as I sit here and like ponder what was the best and worst, my first job was probably the best job. I worked at a place in Concord, North Carolina, where I grew up in the formative years. It was a little hole in the wall called Snow Biz. It was shaved ice, and it had all the fringe benefits that you would expect from a shaved ice place. Like, all my friends hung out there. I got free shaved ice. I mean, it was honestly, they were, one of the managers would like sit across the street with binoculars and watch whether or not we were handing out free shaved ice or not. It was great, but it was fantastic because, in high school you're not, the partying has started, but everybody's hanging out before going somewhere, and we just happened to be in a good spot, so they'd go get $3 worth of shaved ice and hang out in the parking lot. So it was a hangout spot. It was fantastic. I loved it. So my worst job, I sold copiers, and we can just stop there and like end the show. Sold copiers. That was fun until it wasn't. So, I think, I think when you really break it down for like the worst job story, right, it's going to involve a bad manager, and I think that's what we're dealing with here with this story. Is just, well, that, and I was just burnt out. Like, if you can imagine, copiers is a commodity sale. I mean, as well as a lot of your audience knows, selling is not easy. So when you are, literally beating on doors and trying to get people to, buy the thing they already bought that's sitting over there, it was not a fantastic job. It was a good job. It was a good place to like cut my sales teeth and learn the skills. Worst job story wasn't really anybody's fault other than mine. By the time I was in my last, let's just say, my last tenure at the last copier place I worked at four different copier places. I started a place called Icon. I then went for a very short stint at a local dealer, Dex Imaging, and then I worked at Konica Minolta, and then Rico Business Solutions. So I worked at all the major guys, basically. So by the time I was done my job at Rico, I was a healthcare specialist. That's my actual title. And I sold to ambulatory, I sold to medical offices, doctors' offices. Oh, it was horrible. So what I realized is I was sitting in these waiting rooms to meet with an office manager or a doctor. In most cases, it was the doctor, maybe even the spouse of a doctor. And I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I'm noticing that all of these people are just walking right behind the door. And I'm being told to sit down and wait. And somebody just walks up and this literally walks in the door. And I started paying attention to what was going on, and they were drug reps. Right? The drug reps had samples, they brought in food. Everybody in the office loved them because the drug reps knew how to work the system in these healthcare doctors' offices. So what I realized as the healthcare specialist at Rico was the difference between me sitting there in the waiting room and not getting invited to have a conversation with the decision makers, and the drug reps who walked in and immediately went to the back room and got full access to whatever they wanted. Was the difference is they were wearing name tags and I wasn't. So I went back to the office and I told my boss, I said, "Hey, I need a name tag." And they were like, "Why?" And I explained it to him. He's like, "It's brilliant. We'll get you name tags." And they literally gave everybody name tags. And the reality is it worked like a charm. I mean, I was literally walked into every office I went into. I got immediate access. It was fantastic. The problem was the job sucked.
Yeah.
It was just
Wait, can I pause you right there? Can I pause you? You hear that, boys and girls out there? You want to do some social hacking? Go get yourself a name tag.
Yeah. Honestly, I've done that. I've done social engineering, and the part is just look the part. That's all you got to do.
Act as if.
Look the part and act the part.
Dude, I remember, on that at the what's it called? When I was a kid, we'd be at the grocery store and I'd have to use a bathroom. And this is before like they had restrooms there. Like you had to go past the double doors, in the back, somewhere, and you had to search for it yourself. And I remember just being a little kid, just walking back there and just like in my mind, just saying, I belong here. If I act like I belong here, they won't bother me. And it was so true. Yeah. I mean, of course I've worked at places before where I've seen a kid walk by and I'm like, this morning dropping off Nico at the school at the VPK, I walk out in the hallway and I see this little kid just like turning right around the corner and shooting down the hallway. I look at him, he just runs by and he hits the corner, and I look back the other way. Dude, I do 3 times. It seemed like 30 seconds later, then somebody turned the corner. I was like, he went that way, but I didn't even stop him. Yeah. I was like, for a second, I was like, I think maybe he belongs. Maybe he's supposed to do this. I don't know. So I'm sorry. So continue.
So the lesson I learned was looking the part matters, right? And that I've actually used that before. So one of the other jobs I had, which was fantastic, was social engineering. I talked my way into data centers, talked my way into banks, I talked my way into, and it was just literally looking the part, having on the right shirt, but making a fake name tag and just going in. No, it's so easy. But the job was boring. It was boring.
The copier job.
Aaron, I'm not. Oh yeah. The copier job was.
Wait a second. Boring. You're telling me the job selling copiers, the thing that prints up, doesn't make new things. It just copies paper. How could that be boring, Kyle?
It defies logic, Aaron. It really does. It was boring.
It sounds like the only job in that industry more boring than that is like Dunder Mifflin, like selling paper.
Selling the paper. Actually, that's really interesting. There's a lot of intrigue that happens on that side of the business. No,
you're like, I wish
they're the rock stars of.
Wish my heart of hearts I could sell paper.
Oh yeah, they are the rock stars of the whole print industry. Was the paper guys. Yeah, I mean all the colors and textures. I mean, just really, there's so much intrigue that's happening there.
The ink guys are always wishing they're like a second fiddle. Poor ink guys.
Second, third. They're third.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Really.
Oh, what about graphite? What about like pencils? They're like the relic.
Everybody falls behind the laser guy who doesn't even need ink, right? So I mean, it's just different technology. So it was so boring of a job. I kid you not. I would drive to the park, take an hour lunch, take an hour nap, maybe go call on one more office, and then go back to the office. It was so. I mean, and I did it.
Dude, daily. I remember that. I remember. I was like, wait, dude, we went and watched some movies like a couple of times during the day.
Shh. My wife doesn't know about the movies.
I was like, how often do you do this? You're like, a lot.
I mean, I was really up to date on all the movies. Like, honest, and sometimes I had to go see them twice because I couldn't tell her that I was watching movies in the middle of the day. So when we went to go see them,
you had to get some.
It was yeah. Oh, this is great. What do you mean this is great? I mean, I heard
experience.
Yes. So this leads me to the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Wait, is this also the worst job story? Or is this what makes it so okay?
Yes.
Good. Let's hear it.
So I got an interview to work at another
copier company
while I'm still no, I was moved on. Interesting enough, the next job was ConnectWise. Nice. And the name tag story is what sold.
Nice.
Hey, this guy's creative. Yeah. So I got that job offer, and I'm on the company laptop, the copier company laptop, and I decided I'm gonna go print the offer.
Hold on, dude. I need you to understand. I don't know if you made this connection, but not only is it jacked up that you're using a company copier, but the company is about copiers. Like you are just sticking it to them all the way.
Yeah. No. And I accidentally printed it to the office printer right outside my boss's
and office. You didn't know?
Nope. So when I got back to the office that afternoon, he said, "Hey, Kyle, we need to talk." I was like, "Cool, it's great. Let's talk." I'll tell you, really excited to tell you about my day. I had really, really productive stuff going on. I will go walk in there, and he's like, "Something you need to tell me about?" And he slips the paper, and I was like, "Oh yeah, isn't my 2-week notice?"
What else do you say? You're like, wait, did you get that did you get my 2-week notice? It was printed there as well.
It was so bad.
Oh man, dude,
it was
and
so
I know
bad.
you hate awkward situations, man. I know you don't like the conflict. And dude, wait, let me tell you, your boss. What was so messed up about your boss?
He honestly, it's like, this is, of all the stories you're gonna have about terrible, sucky jobs, he was a terrible boss because he was too nice. He was too nice. He was Mr. Rogers nice. And it just irked me. I mean, I'm a really nice guy. I'm not a jerk. I like enjoy people's company. I like people to like me. I'm just, I'm a likable guy. Look at his face. And this guy was so nice. It literally just got under my skin. It just drove me.
You heard it here, guys. Kyle Jackson hates nice people.
Nice people are the worst.
The worst.
The worst. Really.
Should. So wait. I interviewed with I don't know, Rico Kanakamoto from your request. Like, I was looking for a job and you set the interview up. And I was thinking that maybe this was like another boss you had or something, but he was man, he was not the nicest guy. He was a complete jerk of a human being. I remember from that interview. I was just nice and, hey, how you doing? He's like, so what do you sell? You know what it came off? It was almost like like you think you can sell a copier? Like you think you don't know anything about selling copiers. If you've never sold a copy, you've never sold a thing. So that's how it came out. He was quite portly.
Yeah.
He looked, I'm not, you know what? No, I'm okay with saying this because you know how some dog owners, after they have the dog for a while, you look at me like, oh, they looked like their dog, right? So we can agree that people can look like animals. So in that reference, he looked like a pig. Like he did. And I wouldn't have said it, but he was just disheveled a little and just like just a jerk of a guy. So, and then I came back and I was like, dude, thanks for that. What? And you were like, yeah, he's a jerk.
I don't remember. I can't even think who that was.
Maybe you didn't work for him. Maybe he like got promoted and like used to work beside him or something like that. I think it's something like that.
The person I'm thinking of that matches that description also matches that description. Yes.
I was like,
a real jerk.
Immediately, I was like, whoa, this is not going well. Like within 2 minutes, I could have been like, I'm not getting this job. We're not going to do this. That's fun.
My first interview for the sales position was with a master salesman. And of course, I didn't know this was my first sales gig. And I go in to interview with this guy, and he literally does this thing. Pardon all the extra noise. While I reposition, he goes, it puts his feet up on his desk, and he lounges back just to make me feel awkward and see what I would do. Of course, it worked. I was like, oh my goodness, how do I respond? Like, am I supposed to mirror this guy? What tact am I supposed to take with this fellow? Because he's basically laying down in his office. Oh. Yeah.
Is that a tactic that people do to make you feel uncomfortable, to see do people do that?
Oh yeah. Dude, all the
okay,
time.
Offline, I got a story for you. I can't say it on this. I can't, but dude, I was like, this is like I had to talk to Rise about this afterwards. I was like, my wifey, I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on with this. So I'll throw that by your way a little later.
I can tell you I've never done it.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what? I think we need to dedicate a show that's just about bad interviews. I think one of the shows just need to be about bad interviews, either given or either side, either interviewee or interviewer. I think that'd be good. So
I got to tell you, Aaron, this was really hard. It was really hard because I never worked, never had a dirty job, right? I'm not Mike Rowe. I didn't really get
right.
Finding the right story to have this conversation with you. And the other side of this is, some of your listening audience were bosses of mine who I like as people, but they were terrible bosses.
Yeah.
You and I have shared a few.
Yes.
So I didn't want to engage in that conversation.
Totally get it.
So,
totally get it.
So
awesome.
This was not easy to find the right story.
No, I understand. Dude, I'm actually surprised you went so recent as your copier jobs. I was like, oh, do you still have any connections there? But I guess not. I guess you're good there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Actually, the guy who interviewed me and laid back, he's the chief strategy officer for a very large ConnectWise partner.
Oh, really?
And I just had a conversation with him a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's cool. So good. But he was a great guy. Just
fantastic.
That's awesome.
The best.
Well, good. Look, we're gonna cut this part out. You need to tag him. LinkedIn. Let's get it. Awesome.
He's the best.
He's the best. Awesome. Very good, Kyle. Thank you. That was awesome. I want to hear what quote. I'm really excited to hear what quote that you have chosen for me to speak about. But first, we're going to take a real quick pause so we can hear from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's Martin here, admin, CEO, and co-founder of the MSP Geek community. And I want to see you at our conference, MSP GeekCon 2023. It is the premier conference that focuses on the career path of a technician, where you get to own both your personal and your technical skill set and how to set yourself and your teams up for success. Join us in Orlando on May 21st to the 23rd. Come grow with us and we'll see you there.
And we're back. Okay. All right. Boy, wasn't that a commercial? Wowzers.
That's a doozy.
All right, Kyle. I'm ready. I'm ready for the quote. What quote you got for me?
So, of all the choices that I was given, I picked this one because I think I know what's behind this one. And I just want to be right. I mean, it's not about you, it's about me.
I'm confused.
So I just wanted to see if I'm right with what I think this is. The quote is, can I do it in my best Elizabethan accent?
I would only expect that.
Now you want me to? I don't want to do it. Forget it. I'm just going to read it straight.
The worst, man. No, wait.
We'll both.
Go ahead.
What? Yes.
Continue.
We'll both wear sweater vests, and I'll do the talking.
Okay. I think you might know, maybe not the exact job, but who is involved? Yeah, is that what you're getting at? Okay, cool. Yep. I love this. Okay, so this was another job that I had. I was 15 years old. I lived in at that time, spot in Tampa that wasn't of the best repute, wasn't the bestest neighborhood, but there was a grocery store in the neighborhood called B&D, and it was just a little mom and pop's grocery store. Not little, it's a mom and pop supermarket, so not like a Publix or a Kroger, but not like a Piggly Wiggly, or a Wawa, just a small grocery store. Either way, it was family owned, and this was in it just seemed, I'm realizing now how touchy this can be. It was mainly minority neighborhood, Black and Hispanic. And the owners of this grocery store, they were white. It was a white family. And I wouldn't say that. That means nothing other than there was some really weird optics going on that when I came on working and my best friend came on working. Yeah, I said that just to hit you. No, one of my longest known friend, Mario, who Mario was, I think, episode 4. We talked about working together at the junkyard, the auto salvage yard. Well, we were also going to school together, and we were like, well, this auto salvage yard, that's only on Saturdays, but let's get a job during the weekday after school. So we go down to this grocery store. And we're talking about, okay, we had friends, a bunch of the people in our neighborhood, they worked at the grocery store, and teens, and he was like, well, this is the first job, I think, interview he was going on, or the same thing for me. And I just told him, I said, listen, we'll both wear sweater vests and I'll do the talking. I remember saying that. We'll both wear sweater vests and I'll do the talking. And we went to the mall and we bought sweater vests. They were in style, so I guess it worked.
All grocery employees should.
They should, right? It's just it's wholesome. It's wholesome. So so we go to the mall. We get some sweater vests, and after school one day, we walk up to this grocery store, and ladies at the front counter, and in my best 15-year-old trying to sound like a man voice, I'm like, hi, yes, yes, my best friend and I, or my friend and I, we're seeking employment, and this is all right. Let's cut it. It's in the ghetto. This is in the ghetto, and we're wearing sweater vests. And we're wearing khakis, and we're like, yes, we're seeking employment. And I remember the lady Ruth. She was so sweet. She goes, here? I said, we're like, yeah, here. And she goes, okay, hold on. And she went and got the owner's son. He was probably around 40 something at that time. And he comes out and he's like, well, how can I help you guys? And I'm like, hi, how you doing? My name's Aaron. This is George. We're George Mario. We're looking for employment. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, I should have caught on, like, why are they so surprised? They shouldn't be this surprised. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, come on back. So he gives us a quick little interview, has us fill out the paperwork, and then he starts walking us around, and we don't know what's going. He's just walking around talking to us about everything, and I stopped and I said, I'm sorry, are we hired? Are we? And he said, yeah, you're hired. I said, oh. We're like, oh, okay, well, and he goes, so let's go ahead and get you this. And I stopped and I go, well, hold on. I said, well, there's some questions I have. I'm like, and he stops, and people there didn't talk to him like that. They just said right. Yes, and just did. And so I was like, well, how much is first of all, how much is the pay? And he said, he's like, oh, no worry, it's $4.25 an hour, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. And he said and I said, I cut him off again. I said, I'm sorry, excuse me. $4.25 an hour is $1.25. Oh, he said $4.25 an hour. Everyone here gets paid. Starts off getting paid $4.25 an hour. And I said, I'm sorry, $4.25 an hour is $1.25 below minimum wage. And he goes, oh, yeah, it is. I said, it is. I said, so, and I was like, so it's going to be $5.50. And he goes, yep, it'll be $5.50. Both of us $5.50. And he was like, well, and we just don't talk about the money around here. And I said, and I forget, I think it's then, because I told one of my teachers. Hey, everyone. Hey, all you listeners, viewers out there. Sorry for interrupting and jumping on in. Funny thing happened. So in the beginning of the recording of the podcast, I actually bragged a little, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. No technical errors, no audio, video problems. And I was like, yay, happy. Well, guess what happened? So we had some technical errors. We had some audio errors. But that's absolutely fine. I'm here. I'm going to pick up where we just jumped off, and I'm going to be kept you phone zoned in, I'm going to talk about the stories that I just talked about, or that I talked about but didn't come through. To help me stay focused, which I should have right now, I wrote it all on a board. I actually had this still with me. Everything's packed, but I still had this up to keep me focused. So this is what we're going to focus on, all right? And I'll show you where as we go along. So we're talking about B&D. This is the job that I had at the grocery store, as you were just listening to. This is circa 1998. I was 15 years old. We're going to go through these stories real quick. Cashier revolution. Catch me if you can't. I shall not. Bonus, which is just like if I think of anything else, we'll put it up there. And then pick up where I just left off. Up all there, right up here. So let's put this to the side. Yep, I'll share some screen time with it. I'm okay with that. All right. So right when we just left off, I believe I was talking about the minimum wage or the below minimum wage that me and my best friend Mario were being promised that we'd have. And I said, hey, that's not right. That's about $1. That's $1 less. And he was, $1.25. He was kind of skittish. He was like, oh, okay, well, yeah. He ended up giving that to me and everything. But he did say, he gave that to both of us, but he did say, oh, yeah, we don't really talk about wage here. And I was like, oh, okay. But I just happened to remember around that time that one of my teachers had mentioned that it was unlawful or against the law for, or illegal for a company, a manager to tell, or an employer to tell their employee not to discuss their wages with their fellow coworkers, which is true. Bosses out there, managers, don't do that. You can't do that. So what was funny is that there are kids in the area, teens that we went to school with, we rode on the bus with, who we knew, that they worked there. And I would ask them like, oh, so, hey, how on the bus ride, I remember just one, Eva. Oh, Eva. If you're watching, Eva, you're not. But she was so sweet. So Tiffany, maybe it's either way. She was so sweet, so kind, very bubbly, energetic, and I was like, hey, how much are they paying you? Oh, we don't talk about that. I'm like, I get it. Listen, I was just wondering. And she said, oh, well, I just got a raise. I was like, oh, that's okay. Maybe up it. Yeah, I got a raise of $4.75. I was like, oh, not. And she was like, what? I said, well, listen, and I didn't say anything for a while because it felt awkward and everything. But more we worked together, and I told her, hey, that's below minimum wage. I don't know if she felt bad. I don't think she ever said anything. But there were some other people too that it was. Either way, it was very weird. It was very, like I said, it was very old school. But not in the good way. Not in the good way that we like, not in the good old school. It's more of the, hey, we don't like that old school. Which kind of leads me into some of the remnants of that being first one up, right? Cashier revolution. So I was hired on as, just like me and my best friend Mario, we were hired on as bag boys and stalkers. Right, mainly bag boys and stalkers, and then bag boys or stalkers. If you became a stalker, you have to be a bag boy for like so many, like if you're a teen, like maybe a month or so, something like that, and then you can be a bag boy. And bag boys got paid 25 cents more an hour. So like, I'm sorry, when you're a bag boy, to be a stalkers got paid 25 more cents an hour. So all the guys were stalkers because that's worse. So, and then that's all they ever promoted. They never promoted any females, any ladies to being a stalker. Though they went to cashiers. Girls became cashiers. Girls stalked for like a little bit, and I not stalked. They bagged for like maybe 2 weeks, and was like, okay, we can trust you on the cash register. Very, very old school. So that caught my attention, and I asked. I'm like, whoa. So when you get promoted, I asked Miss Rita, if you get promoted from bagger to stalker, that's a 25-cent raise. What about from a bagger to cashier? And she's like, oh, only girls. I'm like, yeah, but what are girls? She said, oh, 50-cent raise. I was like, well, 50-cent raise? Okay, that's, and I asked, I remember saying, can I be a cashier? Can I be a cashier? Because I've done that before. So can I? And she said, only girls are cashiers. And I said, yeah, but but I know how to cashier. I can do all that, and I know my way around money, and yeah, I want to get paid more. And she said, I'm going to talk to the owners about this. So she talked to the owners. One of the owners came back to me. He's like, Aaron, yeah, you said something. Rita said something about you wanted to be a cashier. It didn't sound right. I was like, yeah, I want to be a cashier. Well, only girls are cashiers. I get that. I get that. Glenn? I think his name was Glenn. I think his name, maybe. David? Either way, it doesn't matter. So I started that. I started the not really a revolution, but I was the first guy to ever become a cashier at that store. And far back as I remember, like going back after I stopped working there, I never saw another guy working as a cashier. And probably because like I got ridiculed, all the other guys. So imagine me. I'm 15. I'm very short, still very overweight, and then like in a very, I mean, these are some male teens that are just gonna, rah, and they're like, oh, you're a cashier now, so you are a female. Like I got all the jokes, but I got that extra 25 cents. Yay. But that was really, that was fun. So moving on from there, boom, Catch Me If You Can't. So, Leonardo DiCaprio, Catch Me If You Can. He was good at it. Well, Catch Me If You Can't. So I ran into a con guy who was not good at it. And it was the first time, maybe I don't know. He almost got me, but I was a cashier. It could have been my downfall. Being a cashier could have been my downfall. But older dude came up and he said, hey, he bought something small. It didn't really matter, but he asked for some change. And I said, yeah. And he gave me like a 10. And some of you guys may have already heard this. They're like, oh, it's a change kind of, it's a manipulation. It just confuses people. They keep asking for change. They're like, oh, well, let's put that here. And I'm going to take this 10 and put it on that. Now you give me change and duh. And next thing you know, like cashiers have money out in front of them. I've never seen this before, but everything in my head was like, this guy gave me $20 for change. I owed him $10 from whatever he bought. He gave me $20. For some reason, there was well over $100 on out here right now. I just grabbed all of it and I said, nope. And I closed the cashier and a register drawer. And he got so mad. He got so mad at me. I said, nope, you give me back my change. I said, one moment, I'm going to count everything down. I took it. Rita, the manager, came in. Aaron, what is going on? Because he's screaming and I'm just walking away. I'm like, nope. I'm not going down for this. And he didn't even stay around for his change. And it ended up being that I had the exact amount that $20 plus the change left over that I was given. That was the exact amount that he had. And we said, yeah, just hold on. And we actually said the $20. I was like, definitely $20. Hand that back to him. I know that that's in the clear. Something was like, but he wanted to take off out of there. So I caught you. You're not going to get away that easily. I hope you're okay. I hope everything went well in your life. So things turn around, things went better for you. Okay, so that's Catch Me If You Can't. Next up is I Shall Not. And I'll have to explain that. This is actually the story of me leaving. And I know these are going by pretty quickly, but this is a different kind of format. And, we'll figure it out. But hey, put in the comments. Oh, and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. No, I got one more story. But still. Put in the comments if you like this. Every now and then throw something like this in here. I don't know what's up with the hand movements, but why not? I shall not. So this is the story of me leaving. I was always young then, definitely saying, okay, what can I do for some extra money? What can I do for some extra cash? And next to the store, the B&D, the building, was like this big empty lot. It was almost like a retention pond, but there's so much litter in there. And the management always complained about litter. And every now and then, on a weekend or something, a couple of the stalkers, they would be tasked to go out there for like an hour and pick up but it was like, it wasn't enough. Like it was always accumulating. And I was talking to the owner and was telling him, hey, they were talking about hiring someone to do it. And I said, well, how about I do it? They're like, yeah, but when you work here, we'll just, you can't do it all day. I said, no, I won't do it on your time. I'll do it on my time. I'll do it on my time on a day. That's what there it is on a day. And we agreed on a amount of money. And then I showed up that Sunday or that Saturday early in the morning, and it was hot. And I wasn't working for them. It was a side thing, and I didn't have a blue shirt on, a blue polo shirt on, and it was hot. I remember that day was so hot. But and the attire called for a polo. I had shorts on too, and he came out, and I had cleaned my tail off, and it didn't matter how long. I told him I was going to be there, until this amount of money. I forget how much, but until the thing was clean. And I had hustled my butt off, cleaning up the area. And he came out and said, "Hey, you're not wearing any shorts. You're not wearing pants. You should wear pants because that's the dress code. And I need you to put on polo." I was like, "Oh no, that's not happening. It is way too hot for any of that mess. I'm gonna be out here all day. This is the whole reason why you don't have employees out here for more than an hour or so, because it's so hot and they're in their work clothes." No, I said, "No, this is something different." And I kept, "Am I on the clock?" He was, "Well, I need you to work, or wear this work attire, wear the uniform, or you're out." I go, what do you fire me?" I said, "I'm already halfway done cleaning up. This is halfway. Are you gonna pay me half? Are you gonna pay? Yeah, well, it'll be on your paycheck." No, this is separate. I mean, I was so upset. So either way, it ended with the crazy part isn't, or nothing crazy about it really. I guess the more shocking part, is that maybe a 15-year-old having this conversation. I ended up finishing the day. I think I was wearing like a shirt, a white beater t-shirt, but either way, I was wearing that and like some shorts. And he ended up paying me for the day. And I asked him afterwards, like, "Well, you don't have to worry about putting me on the schedule for next week. I don't think this is working out, blah, blah, blah." And in reality, the next week, we were actually moving. I was living with my mother, and we were moving out away from, or another part of town. I wouldn't be able to travel anyways, or drive back and forth anyways, being 15 years old. But the funny thing when I was thinking about this again, funny thing about it is the visual that I get from if I was just a passerby, or if I was just driving by in the parking lot, and I looked and I saw in a field that there was this shorter brown kid, okay, dirty with a white beard t-shirt, and he's definitely cleaning up, and he's like, no. And he's standing his own, and then across from him is like the owner, and he's like, "I don't know." And I think that's a hilarious. I wonder if anyone saw that driving by, like, what were they thinking? What is exactly going on here? If it was me, I'd probably stop and just watch. Probably stop, go inside, grab a bag of chips that were like 25 cents, and just watch for a little bit. But that's that story about how I left. Bonus. Real quick, I'll tell you the bonus that I had. A story I thought of is, I think this is the only time this has happened to me, but it's kind of cliche if you're going to do this. So there was a girl that was working at the store that I had a crush on, and just a light crush. We flirted back and forth here and there. She was older. She was like a couple years. She was 17, I think. I was 15. That's a big difference, at that time. But I would flirt. I would try to charm her. And we were in the break room one day. Other people were around, and which the break room was also like the produce prep area. I remember that now. So, but a bunch of teens were in the break room, and a song came on the radio. It was something like "My Girl" or it was some Motown song. And I asked her to dance with me, trying to be goofy, trying to be, fun. And some of you are already getting there, but I was slow dancing with her, and I spun her. Ooh, and I went to dip her, and I got to, if you guys have dipped a lady before or dipped a guy, if you go on to dip, then there's a point of no return. There's a point where you go down and you're like, oh, like you can't get up. So you're gonna have to and that's what happened. The first time I learned that. You have to learn your boundaries. So I learned that boundary when I dip, when I feel that, when I'm getting close to feeling that feeling, I gotta stop. I gotta pull back. But no, poor girl. She was so sweet and everything. I just dropped her, and I didn't mean to. I could not hold on any longer, and I dropped her, and it was a hard jump. It was fun. Helped her back up. Sweet. Never dated her. She never wanted to date me. Oddly. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for listening, for watching, and thank you so much for I hope enjoying. If you did enjoy, I hope you enjoyed this story or the rest of the story. Thank you so much to Kyle Jackson, one of my very best friends. I feel bad that because here's the goofy part. So we have all of his audio and video, but none of my audio and video. So even listening to his audio and video, I was like, what did I say in between that? I'm sure there's stories and comments and that we left out, and I feel horrible about that. But because of that, I'm gonna have him on very soon, and to hopefully, if he had the time, he would be on, and we had a decision, or we had a conversation on the last pod. I think it came through. I'm not sure if it came through, but we were talking about an episode dedicated just to interviews, or bad interviews. So whether you're the interviewer or interviewee, so maybe we'll have him on for that one too. That'd be great. So everyone out there, computer land, thank you so very much. Oh, what did I learn? I remember saying what I learned from this job experience. What I learned from this job experience was, when I guess like another little block onto when you're at work facing some type of injustice, or somebody's not doing something right that you feel it's not right, it's affecting you, definitely. Maybe it's immoral, unethical. Speak up. Don't be afraid. Maybe it's not always the right time to speak up and say something. That's understood. But don't have a fear of speaking up. Don't have a fear. Like with that grown man, I was 15 years old, and I was like, that's not the minimum wage, or hey, why can't I be a cashier? So that's one thing I was able to pull away from that job. All right, thank you again, everyone out there in computer land. I greatly appreciate your patience, your participation in this, and we will see you next time. See ya.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.
Yo.
I could hear you.
Did we lose the whole recording? Oh, you could hear me the whole time?
The whole time. I was literally talking and you started acting like, well, I'm just going to start talking. I was really confused.
Dude, your screen just went out.
I was in the middle of a beautiful story.
I'm sure you were. Dude, you were. I was in it, and then it was boom. So this is going to be a fun little edit right there. Oh, wait. All right.